Hello and welcome to Good Medicine. So today we're visiting with Nikki, and Eleanor's like, gosh, I need to spit that out. And we're going to be talking about Women for Wellness. So how are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
So how did Women for Wellness come about?
Well, Women for Wellness started 8 years ago, and we had received a grant for community education, and it was supposed to be specific for women. So we started off with a small little fair, to say the least, and then it has grown into what Women for Wellness is today. The whole goal of it was to try to have a community activity or an event that promoted women's health issues. Did we ever guess that it would turn to what it is today? Probably not so. I don't think we would have thought that, but we're very proud of what gains we've made, what screens we bring, so it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing how huge it has gotten, you know, and well worth going to, definitely.
Yeah,
so
thank
that
you.
was great. So who's your sponsors then?
Our sponsors this year, there are quite a bit, but some of the sponsors I really want to talk to you about are our hospitals in Western Montana. We have St. Luke's Community Healthcare Network, St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Medical Center, Kalispell Medical Regional Center, and we have, of course, CSKT, Tribal Health and Human Services. Those have been with us since the beginning, and you know, this would not be possible without them. We have other major corporate sponsors like Komen, Anderson Broadcasting, Walmart, Valley Journal, AARP, and many more to speak of.
That's just great that how much the community has gotten involved in it. So this year, do you have like a topic, or what do you?
You know,
hope
we've
to
been asked in the past for themes, and ultimately we haven't done themes per se. I think there's so many different screenings that are available, it's hard to stick to a theme. But each year we keep some of our screenings are identical. You know, the mammogram bus will be here again this year. We'll have breast exams as well as cervical exams. Some things are consistent, and every year we try to look for some new things. And I think one of the biggest pushes for us this year was try to find more screens and exams for men. Mm-hmm. There's, you know, Women for Wellness is not just for girls per se. The guys can come in, the guys can talk to all the providers, because many of the issues we have as females, guys have too. Guys get breast cancer. So they may need to do a breast exam or have a breast exam done so they can find out if in fact they are healthy. So that was kind of our push this year a little bit, is to make sure that we're reaching out to our guys and have them involved in the health fair too.
So did you find new things for them?
The big one for us this year is the PSA. So it's a prostate exam that it's a blood exam or a blood test that's done. So you go in and they take a vial of blood, send it in, and then it's a screening tool. And prostate cancer being one of the leading cancers for men, this is a great screening, and it's free for the guys who pick up the vouchers. So it's not something we will be doing that day. We're not doing any of those exams at the health fair, but it's an exam they can seek one of the local hospitals for and get that taken care of.
And there's a criteria that goes with it. You have to be at a certain age to meet the criteria and also have certain symptoms. So it might not be a test for everyone, but for the women that know their husbands or partner, or if the men are there, they would know if they're having some of these symptoms. So there are some criteria that go along with that. There is another test that we have brought this year, and that's glaucoma testing. We are having a lot more men have glaucoma. So that, along with bone density scans, that most men don't think about testing their bones, but I think it's something to consider, and we're happy to bring that to them.
Because you hear more about the push for women, you know, for getting the bone tests and stuff. I just never even thought about my husband, so maybe I'll drag him over there.
There you
go. So what are then kind of like your goals? Is there something specific you want to target this year?
Well,
or just
each
besides
year,
the men?
Sure. Each year there are certain, I guess I would say, requirements for us as a grantee to accomplish. So this year, one of our biggest focuses is to make sure people get the opportunity to get an HIV test and a hepatitis C test. So those are rapid tests that can be done in 20 minutes and get their results. And we're so fortunate we have several volunteers coming in to help us with that testing, and people out of Missoula, out of Kalispell, and Open Aid Alliance, which is out of Missoula. And so I believe at this point we're sitting with 10 plus testers to do that. So that's one of our big goals. The other goal is just to increase our participants. Last year we were almost to 1,400 people. I think it was 1,387 that registered, although I'm pretty sure a few snuck through the door and maybe didn't register. But
I didn't.
Yeah. So that happens. But that's what we had for registered people who attended last year. So our goal this year is maybe 1,500. I think that one of the things that people struggle with is that in the beginning it seems like there's so many people from that 10 o'clock hour to the 12:30 time that it's just crowded. And so I really would encourage people that if you have time later in the day, come later in the day, because then you don't have to fight the crowds near as much as those people, earlier in the
So how
time.
late does it normally run?
We go to 4:30.
Oh, okay, because normally I'm there in the morning when it's just absolutely packed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say from almost like 2 o'clock to 4:30, if you need space in the aisles and so forth to get through, and you don't want to feel the rush or the crowd, that's a great time to come.
Right.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I know were the tribes going to be flexing again
Yes.
for employees?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to get Tribal Council to approve that. So, and what that means for those of you listening is that if you're a tribal employee and work with the tribes, then if your supervisor approves it, then you can sneak away. And I would really encourage you to ask for 2 or 3 hours. It takes some time to get through the health fair.
It does.
It's not something you can walk in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you might get down one lane. So I would really encourage you to take some time. And so if you have concerns, then we have an info booth. We started this last year where we had an information table, and it worked so well. So if there's something specific that you're looking for, you can come. It'll be right down the steps when you go into the gymnasium. Look for the information table. And so if you're looking that you're really worried about your thyroid, then you can ask those ladies, where would I find the screening? And they will help lead you to the right direction. So if in fact you're on a shorter time schedule, we can get you to that spot as quickly as possible if you visit the info booth. So I think that will help people with their time.
Maps.
So they have the maps. It's really difficult. It's amazing how many things change on Wednesday nights.
Oh yeah,
when
I'm
we're mapping things out, or people say, I need this, or I want that, and we try to accommodate as best as we can. So we have not been able to produce a map for absolutely everybody, because of course then we would be wrong and then we'd be in trouble for that. So so I just really encourage people, go to the information desk. If there's any last minute changes or we had to move somebody for any reason, they're going to know they can lead you in the right direction.
Another good thing to know.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about where you were stating that it's not only for women but for men too, and but this isn't. You're talking 18 years and older, then, or?
We have never really put an age on it, I would say.
We haven't, but because it's in the middle of the week, we tend to get our women that are older and our mommies that come without the kids. It's their time. For most of the testing, I would say it would be maybe in your 20s. Most 20-year-olds don't have too much problems, but for men, I would classify most of our testing would be maybe beginning at their 30s.
So if some 16-year-old come in, that would be okay.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
Well, certainly, because we have a lot of educational material there, and we are about prevention. I'm always amazed at this generation are all about taking care of their bodies. They're well aware of what's going to happen to them, and we have a lot of materials. We have a lot of exhibitors, providers that are there to speak to them, to help them be aware of some illnesses and what they can do to prevent them.
I think the one good thing too to add to that is that our youth are really kind of the spearhead of of good health. And what I mean by that is when your kids come home and say, you know, you smoke, Mommy, I want you to stop smoking because this could happen to you. I think that as a mom, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe is there a reason to change? And so by kids, I would say, you know, teenagers coming, I think that they could learn some information, and if they take that back home and encourage mom or aunties or grandmas or dads or uncles, like, you need to do this, and have that open discussion about health issues that are not always easy to talk about, that I think we're going to be in a better place. But we have to open up some discussion. So, and I would also add that we've had youth participate in some of the screenings, and at different health fairs, even in the Valley, serious health conditions have been found, whether it be through their blood pressures or if it was a breast exam. So it's not that it doesn't happen to our youth, it does sometimes. So if there's a concern that people have out there and they're worried about it, you know, certainly this is a great place to come in, ask questions, and see if we can, if there's a way to be helped, or maybe we can link you to resources that can help.
That's good to know. So would you have an information booth there? You know, somebody that found, you know, like the high blood pressure thing, you know, do those people refer them to another place?
Well, they could actually have referrals that day, because we have so many physicians on board with us that day that are there on the floor. I know in past we've had situations that may have occurred at a certain booth, and they're on the radios, or they're grabbing one of us, and we're running to the other end of the gym to grab a doc and bring them over to talk to one another and consult about what the situation is. There's been times too where some of the scans that have been done, it's an immediate referral to the hospital. So whether it was for stroke or heart attack, those kind of things, we've had situations where we've sent people immediately to the hospital because they are not in a good space right then. So that can happen. And also people, I think, we've heard different stories, but people will actually wait for the health fair to find out. You know, whether it be a lump or it be that they're feeling sluggish and they're not feeling well, that they'll wait for the health fair and then try to maneuver through that. And so that's what I think our information tables, you know, really meant for. If we can identify who might best help you, we're going to do the best that we can to get you to that place.
So is there a cost?
No, there is no cost. The only thing we are asking this year, we are trying to help our pantries in the Valley. So we are asking people to either bring 5 cans of food or $5 to help us with that project. There is, however, a questionnaire we'd like most people to fill out. So it's part of the registration line, and that's the only thing we require.
Seeing that's nice that you're able to help the Valley and you know, or different organizations and stuff, and because I know those baskets going out for Safe Harbor. That's
right. And so what you're mentioning, Safe Harbor, that's what we refer to as our community challenge. Right. So what we've done is we've worked with Safe Harbor. I believe this is our third year that we've worked with them, maybe even the fourth year that we've worked with them. But the idea behind that was to challenge different businesses and even peoples and families to take a list of things that they're in need of, fill the laundry baskets, and then bring those to the health fair. And every year they send us back a report as to how many things come through, and it's been an amazing support system for them. And I think a lot of people in our community don't really realize what Safe Harbor does to help our community. And you know, whether it comes from towels to sheets or to kitchen utensils. Sometimes when you leave your place that you may be that's no longer safe anymore, you need a lot of things to get going again. And so they are there to help with that. And so the community challenge is just that, those items that they need to help people, you know, take that next step forward. And so if people are interested in helping out with that, they can call Safe Harbor and request a basket, fill that basket up, bring it to the health fair, and it's a photo opportunity for us as well. But it's twofold. We want to give back to our community too, and we don't do this alone. And I think that Safe Harbor, as well as our pantries, you know, giving back is always a good thing. So
yeah, because usually about this time of year for the pantries, as they You know, because most of the time it's usually around the holidays that people tend to donate, and then they get, start getting a little bit low. So,
people are hungry year round.
Yep, exactly.
All year long.
Good drive,
yes.
good drive.
Yes.
So, we're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
KSKC, Channel 27, Ronan Pablo, Montana, a service of Salish Kootenai College.
Hello, and if you're just joining us, we are visiting with Nikki and Eleanor about the Women for Wellness program. So let's kind of pick up where we left off, and let's talk about the vendors. Who do we have in line this year?
There is a long list of vendors. So,
one exciting thing I'd like to talk to you about this year is we have the Lake County Health Department, along with the state.
It's the Blue Cross Blue Shield Caravan.
Caravan, right?
Yeah.
They will be bringing adult immunizations. That is quite the gift to give, including the shingle shot. There is a criteria for shingle shots. You have to be 6 years old or possibly have a compromised system to receive it. But I would certainly like to have everybody take advantage of this immunizations that are coming. Just look for the Lake County table and they'll get you set up. We will also have, once again, I think Nikki mentioned that we will have the Winkley bus coming again for mammograms. And we'll certainly have manual breast exams as well for our women, and pap smears and full body skin exams. I can think of, Walmart will be bringing machines for glaucoma testing this year, and it's very exciting to have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And some of the other vendors, we have vendors that are doing makeup, and we have vendors that are doing massages. I don't know if you like a massage, but periodically. So if I'm stuck in a chair somewhere, you might want to look for me. But there's different seated massages. We even have some acupuncture folks there, and jewelry. So sometimes, Women for Wellness isn't just about your physical health, but sometimes it's our emotional and mental health that we need to focus on too. And so there'll be it's important to feel good about yourself and feel like you look pretty, whether it be your earrings, and guys wear earrings too. So whatever, those outside things that sometimes we may hide what we're feeling internally, but if we feel good, that's a good thing. So bring your wallets, because there's booths that you can buy things. So we definitely want, if you can purchase something, then bring your wallets. I think sometimes at past fairs, people are like, I didn't know I should bring my wallet. So definitely want you, if there's something there that you want to purchase, those vendors would love to see you buy some of their items. For sure.
So what's the date? For sure, we've been talking about this the whole time,
Yeah.
but I guess we haven't let anybody know what the date
It's
is.
going to be Thursday, May 14th at the SKC Joe McDonnell Health and Fitness Center.
And is there a way to pre-register?
Yes, absolutely. Pre-registration is really helpful for us. If you go to our website, it's prevention.skc.edu, and right there, if you just scroll just down a little ways, you'll see where it says participant registration, and on there we collect information about who you are, your age, your mailing address. Some people in the past, if you've put that stuff in, you may have received a little birthday card or a note of to be healthy, or reminders, things like that we periodically send out. And so we collect that information, but we also ask for people to complete a health survey. And the reason for the health survey is just to find out, where are we? How are we doing in this valley in regards to health? And for us as a program at the Center for Prevention and Wellness here at SKC, we use that information then to look for other grant opportunities to continue the funding for Women for Wellness. And it's not always easy to find that funding, and we've been very, very fortunate for the last 6 years to receive money from the Office on Women's Health through grants, but had that not have happened, where would we be today? So we're very thankful for that, and we've been very fortunate to continue that funding, but that funding will end. And so we've got to find other ways to make that happen, and this is one of the ways.
You mean Women for Wellness could potentially go away?
There is, as much as we hate to say that, there's a possibility of that. And I think this year, Eleanor and a few other staff members have really stepped up to the plate to search for additional fundings. And we have a few leads on some other ideas, which we're going to keep that under the table for just a little while. But yeah, we need to find additional funding to keep it going, because it's, the health fair isn't just about May 14th. Mm-hmm. We spend time, and especially Eleanor spends time following up with people if in fact they, maybe a lump is found. Maybe they need diagnostic screening, and maybe they need ultrasounds and further testing. We try to do our best to follow that patient if that patient allows for it. And then if they need financial help or they just need resources, we try to help get them through to where they feel good, they understand their diagnosis, and they're doing better. And that can be even for the mental health side of things. I think a lot of times we are faced with difficult situations. You know as well as anybody else that's watching, our rates of suicide are sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Dealing with tough times and difficult situations, we've got to find ways to do that. And I think that's one of the vendors that Eleanor wants to highlight, because our work last year was highly beneficial, and we know that it saved people's lives by taking a moment to talk to a counselor. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that opportunity?
Yeah, we have Partnership Health and Pathway. Partnership Health is out of Missoula. We also have Pathways from Kalispell Medical Regional Center came together and had a pretty large exhibiting space, and we provided a quiet, private space for counseling. It took us 6 years for people to come and say, I need help. I don't know what it was about last year, but we were there to help women and men that came with a lot of mental issues or just social problems, and we saved some lives last year. We did have several emergencies that we addressed, and I was able to follow up on them for the last year, and I can happily say that we made a difference last year in mental health.
Wow, and that they're in a good place now.
Yeah,
and
they are.
Yeah. That's great to hear. That is really great to hear. So I guess we're kind of at the end here. If there's anything else you'd like to share, or
no, we'd just like to encourage everyone to come. Bring your friends and your family, your loved ones. Remember that special people in your life. Encourage them to come and be well.
All right.
And I think I would also encourage, if you have somebody in your family or friends that health concerns may scare them, be that hand for them. Absolutely. Go pick them up and bring them and walk down the aisles and visit with the vendors. Some of our vendors are very good at reaching out and getting your attention and bringing you in, while other vendors are kind of waiting for you to come to them. Mm-hmm. So I encourage you to go to those vendors and say, tell me what's going on. What do you do, and how does that work for you? Or tell me about your product, or why do you come for Women for Wellness? And I think that by encouraging that interaction, you're just going to take that much more away from the health fair. So I think that's really important. And the other thing I would like to mention too is this year for our concession stands, we have given our concessions to our SKC Relay for Life team. Mm-hmm. So as many of you know, the Relay for Life is about raising monies for that big day that's coming up in the summer. So they will be feeding our vendors, but they also have concession stands. So there'll be food, and they are really working to keep the prices really low, try to keep it healthy as best as we can. I did hear rumors of ice cream bars, so that wouldn't be a bad thing, but especially in the afternoon.
It's dairy. It's got a dairy in it,
exactly.
so that's good.
It's part of the food guide suggestions, whatever it may be. But they're there, and I think that's awesome, and it's another way that we're kind of giving back, but certainly the gals that are coordinating that now are running fast and furious to get ready for that. But I like it, and I think that having food there is helpful for those people who are taking their lunch break to sneak away or to be there. And it's really important for them to get their nutrients to get through the health fair. Another thing too, I want to say, a lot of times people come to the health fair and they assume that they should not eat breakfast. We want you to eat breakfast.
Yes.
Because there's blood screens and different screens like that. Some of those screens actually are best if people are fasting, but we do not want people to come to the health fair fasting. What we would prefer is eat your breakfast, take care of yourself. Some of those screens that require the fasting, we actually have vouchers for. So then later on, then you would go to that hospital or that clinic to do that, and that would be scheduled later on when you can fast and it's safer. Certainly if you fasted all morning and then by the time you get to the health fair and you got to that booth, it could be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We do not want to see people get ill or feel ill because they're waiting for that test when in fact it's really not there at the health fair, but it's something they can do after the health fair. So,
Very good to know. So remember, May
14th, Thursday, May 14th.
Thursday, May 14th. So that will do it for this edition of Good Medicine. Thank you.